Hey folks, here's a deep one for y'all. Talked to a lot of people about a lot of philosophical concepts here and there, and morality is one that gets brought up a lot, especially with a lot of people that think on that kind of stuff. And somebody asked me about my thoughts about what sin is, what's right, what's wrong. And the way I put it is this: there are two types of sins in this world. There are sins against others, and there are sins against yourself. Sins against yourself we call vices, which are typically things that are bad. Perhaps there are some situations where you can do them in moderation, but if you do them too much or get addicted to them, they are objectively bad to you. The other kind of sin, a sin against another person, we typically call a crime. Now, whether or not it's written into our law or legal or illegal is outside of that. Morality is objective. It does exist beyond what we subjectively as a group choose to enforce or not. And part of the objectivity of morality comes from suffering, pain, and wastefulness. Matter of fact, a much greater mind than myself put it in much better words, Mr. Immanuel Kant. If you ever get bored, want to read some philosophy, look him up. But my way of putting it is this. At the core of any kind of sin, even if it's against yourself or against others, it comes down to wastefulness. And now, granted, yes, different religions have different things that they consider bad, but you could almost say that it really is kind of dependent on the geography of where the religion was made, okay? So you've got some of these that were developed more in areas where there was more of an abundance, so they're a little bit more loose and relaxed about certain things. And then you've got a lot of the religions, specifically Abrahamic religions, which are the main ones throughout the Western world. And sometimes people look on some of these and they get real judgmental about, like, well, that shouldn't be a sin. That's not wrong. That's not wrong. Well, always keep in mind the context of when the scripture was written. Because I can completely see where in an environment where you're living in a desert, you already have very limited resources, and you have hordes of enemy tribes coming at you from all directions. I could see you having to be wound a lot tighter with your morality than, say, a culture that's living in a river valley with jungles and food everywhere and shelter everywhere and no one's attacking each other. So, again, I'm not necessarily making a strong conviction for myself, at least not in this presentation, but that's where I think a lot of the different degrees of different types of morality come from. Let's say you're living in a desert, and you're getting attacked all the time. Being wasteful with your eating habits, it's a crime against others as far as I'm concerned in that kind of situation, because there's only so many rations to go around. Behaving romantically in a way that could be considered wasteful or not productive to the tribe, in that sort of situation, I could see it almost being a crime against others because, again, you're wasting resources at that point. And the list goes on. But yeah, that's kind of my take on that. And if y'all like this, I may actually make a few more videos on this sort of nature, more philosophical, religious, spiritual type things. I've got a lot of stuff that I wrote about it, but I really don't know how my crowd is, my audience is with this kind of stuff. So if you liked it, if you hated it, either one, let me know. And I may or may not make some more videos on this topic. Anyway, thank y'all for listening, and we'll holler at you soon.